about to go on to. I'll also tell you what we're seeing in Birmont Group, which is more on a local and specific to procurement industry. So yes, very much remuneration is right up there at the top at 26%. So this can be anything from your fixed pay, bonuses, superannuation, additional superannuation payments, and then discounts and lifestyle benefits. So subsidized childcare, car parking, you know, discount finance, etc. So that's right up there at the top. Very small gap between that and well-being. So this really comes down to mental health support. So well-being has always been there in probably the top 10, but it's definitely jumped up significantly since COVID times, that people have really had the time to reflect, sit back and understand what is important to them outside of just the work environment. So again, a mental health support, well-being benefits such as gym membership, lifestyle benefits, financial support, and also training. So that's support for additional funds to be paid for their training. The next one that we have at 16% is experience. So this covers off everything from cultural diversity and inclusion, your co-workers, your network, whether it's formal and informal. Next, we have the ways of working, which is 12%. So this is really from day dot, from the moment you start in the organization. How well are you set up from the very start? So the technology enablement, also flexibility, as Amy said, which I was surprised it was so low. And I'll talk in a moment what we're seeing. It's definitely up there at the top from candidates that I'm speaking with. As well as in ways of working, you've got autonomy, collaboration. Then at only 11%, you've got career development. So this is learning, upskilling, formal or informal training, quality of the leadership, your access to mentors and coaching, and really your opportunities and career pathways. Then we have at 8%, the brand. So what is attracting candidates to this particular brand? Is it prestige? You know, their values, are they aligned? What they stand for? And then we have workplace and places. So this is actually the physical office perks, maybe free coffees or food and biscuits in the canteen, the location, your work from home. So I found this quite interesting because this is done across Australia, across all professions. But at Birmont Group, what we've been noticing is flexibility is up there right at the top. So Amy, you're bang on. Salary is second, so JD, also bang on. And then career development is coming in third. But flexibility is just the main thing that we're seeing. I've had a few candidates actually turn down offers because the flexibility wasn't clearly outlined after the interview process, and they want to have that commitment from day one. So really is imperative to have that at the top.
A couple of comments in the chat, Imelda, where people have put what they thought, pretty aligned with what you've said. Obviously, yep. Wage increases, aligned values was a comment in the chat, so exactly what you were talking about. Career progression, of course. Two more things, not perhaps a bit more specific to procurement. You know, a deeper commitment to sustainable initiatives and sustainability. Talking to values and brand, you just mentioned, and a great comment here. Fun. I want a bit of fun. After 2 years of being locked down in my jammies, I'd like to come back and have some fun. I think that's a great comment.
Agreed, and fantastic. And yeah, that should definitely be up here. It should be in the high percentage. It's important. Perfect. So next, I'll go through what skills are in demand. So I might throw it back to you again. It'd be interesting to think, what skills do you think are in demand for today's procurement professionals? So again, feel free to shout it out, or you can throw it in the chat.
Can you see the chat, Imelda? You can't if you're presenting.
I've just pulled it up now. Yes, I can indeed.
All right, good. So yeah, stick it in the chat if you're shy. Yeah.
Resilience, problem solving. Yep. Yeah. Negotiations, resilient, analytical skills. Very good. Soft skills. Yes, more and more we're seeing those soft skills are popping through. Communication. Yep. Fantastic. All right, lovely. Let me pull this up. And stakeholder management. Yes. Let me pull this up for you. So this is what we at Birmont Group are seeing. So I actually went back over a variety of job briefing notes that I'd taken from clients, and the requirements that we're seeing from clients that keep coming up are that strategic mindset, the ability to influence and communicate, executive presence, analytical mindset, creativity and innovation, relationship management, commercial and business acumen, and risk management. So there's a few that are going to keep coming up year and year again, that commercial and business acumen, strategic mindset, analytical mindset, but there's definitely a lot more focus now coming out of COVID on that risk management, the relationship management, you know, especially people working remotely. How do they build those relationships virtually, and really putting an emphasis on that, as well as the ability to influence and communicate and have that executive presence as well. So I won't go into too much detail on this purely from a timing perspective. Okay, so quick overview, some of the key themes that we are seeing for 2022. No surprises, a candidate-driven market. Employees are expecting better benefits. A hybrid remote working model that is not going anywhere. So we're just going to see that continue more and more. As a candidate and a hiring manager, there's advantages to this as well, because it opens up the entire market to you. You don't have to stick with working for organizations or hiring candidates that are within your city. You have the ability to hire, so widens the opportunities from both sides. Hiring for soft skills, this has been recurring for a few years now, but I think definitely with remote working, it is very much emphasized, and I hear it all the time from clients, that if they had a choice of the technical or soft, which would they pick, they always gravitate to soft. You can teach the technical skills. Soft skills are a lot more difficult for an individual to grasp if they don't have that natural ability. And then, of course, the emphasis on employee experience. Okay, so this is where we want to spend our time on career planning. So before I jump into the steps and what we've created at Birmont Group, I'd just like you to know that there are a number of options. I think when people think of career planning, they often just think of a ladder and it's one direction that you go in, and that is most definitely not the case. So as you can see from this slide, there are a variety of options when you're reviewing your career paths. So it's important really to focus on your career plan and not just focus on climbing that ladder, but what does that look like? How, you know, look a few years in advance, and then look at the various different paths you can take to get to that opportunity. So I won't run through all of them, but that's good for you to have for a later stage. But really what worth noting as well, it's not about just jumping out of your organization to get an opportunity. It's about taking on those additional responsibilities, identifying opportunities within your organization as well. It's much easier to get an opportunity for progression in an organization where you know the stakeholders, they know your value, you've built trust, you have that presence, than going out and starting from scratch. So this is the Birmont Group approach to your career progression. We call it the 5 R's, try to keep it nice and simple and easy to remember. So this is really about planning your career and really putting you in the driver's seat of your career. So with focus and a small number of manageable initiatives, you can really be better equipped to manage your career. So we'll start off with reflect. So with reflect, this is really about just taking a step back and identifying what you are looking for. So a really good practical first step is to look at your current and past jobs. So think carefully about your achievements and what gave you job satisfaction. So once you understand your career drivers, it's very easy to put a plan in place, but you need to spend the time identifying what those drivers are. So I put a list of questions there for you to really take some time, assess, ask yourself these questions, and this again will help identify what you're looking for in your future opportunities. And it's just so important to really take your time with this particular one. Next, we have research. So this is about going out there and just gathering as much information as possible before you pull the trigger. So before we make any type of move, it's important to build relationships with recruiters, particularly recruiters who specialize in your profession. And what better people than, you know, individuals who are talking to hiring managers and candidates on a daily basis. But it's important that you're open and honest. So if you're going to put on your procurement hat and act as if you're going into a negotiation, it's not going to work. You need to just put it out there exactly what your concerns are, what motivates you, what you want in the longer term, so they can best assist you. And I'm more than happy to talk to anyone as well if they'd like to have private conversations after this session in the coming weeks and days. It's also really good to talk to your managers. They deal with you on a day-to-day basis. They'll be able to identify where some of your skill gaps are, what you're really good at. Sometimes we don't recognize ourselves what our strengths are, but talking to your stakeholders and your managers, you'll be able to gather that information. So just ask lots of questions and gather that information.